What's going on YouTube? It's Donnie Day. So Joe Steele over from the Steel Mindset sent me 3 Work Tough gear blades to play with and to check out and test. Now, disclaimer, these are all used knives. Now I'm sure he honed up the edges, but it's not a natural edge. So whatever review I give, remember that I'm giving this review on the fact that this is not a brand spanking new edge. So if it performs great and it's not a brand new edge, it's going to perform greater with a brand new edge. If it performs subpar, makes you kind of wonder what it would be with the factory edge. But I have pretty high hopes for these. The sheaths are all Kydex sheaths that lock in really well with ambidextrous belt loops, plenty of room for things like lashing cordage, putting on leg straps, adding attachments. There's so much you can do with that. So if I'm going to do a pros and cons list on the sheath, and we're going to talk about what I like and don't like, it's going to be really short. I'm just not a fan of this. However, it's very serviceable and it will work, especially if you leg tie. With a leg tie, all that goes away. All that goes away, and you're still left with a very serviceable sheath. The floppy nylon, I've just never been a fan of, but if that's all I can say negative, that was the pros and cons. That was all the cons. The rest is just pros. I have a hair in my eye. The rest is literally just pros. That is the only thing I can say negative. You're doing pretty good. It's just like the knife itself. This knife, and I will say, because I have to be honest, this knife is designed very well for its purpose. It really, really is designed well. The problem with me is just personal taste. I do not like the look of that. If I was going to come up with a cons list, the only con I can come up with on this entire package from this blade is the fact that aesthetically, I don't like this look. I think it's ugly. However, it's designed remarkably well. It's purposely put there so you can use your finger, so you can do pullbacks if you're doing skinning. It's really, really good. If you're doing tight work like feather sticking, things like that, that is really, really good, even for a guy who can't bend his thumb. And it's really, really useful. And it gives you tons of control. There is a very specific reason he made this cut, and he might like the look of it, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that do, because everybody has a taste and opinion. For me, that's the only thing I don't like. So if the only con I can think of is just an opinionated thought on aesthetics, then again, you're looking pretty damn good with this knife. So let's get into it. I'll show you up close. I love the orange liners. I don't know, because they have a bunch of configurations, I should say, or versions. I guess I don't know. I don't know what you'd call it, because it's all the same knife. They just use different, like I'll have different scale liners, maybe different scales. I have no idea. They just have different things. But whoever's decision it was to add orange scales, bravo, man. Good thinking. So Vic Lynn, who I tremendously respect, the guy is just freaking awesome, is the owner over there at Work Tough Gear. And he is a stickler on making great products. I get a lot of people where I'll put a knife that's not made in America, and a lot of guys, made in blah, blah, blah. I would never buy a knife and blah, made in blah, blah, blah. These are made in Taiwan. Not just made in Taiwan. These are this is the single best knife company in Taiwan, who makes the single best knives in Taiwan, and who could compete with knife makers anywhere in the world from Taiwan. So for anybody who would say, I would never buy a Work Tough Gear knife because it's made in Taiwan, okay, save them for the rest of us because you're the only one missing out. These are fantastically made. And now that I'm done with that rant, let's get into the specs. It is a full tang blade, obviously. The overall length is 10.5 inches. Blade length is 5.5 inches. Cutting edge is 5.4 inches. You barely lose anything on the Ricasso. The blade thickness is 0.188 inches. The type of grind is a saber grind with a micro convex. And I'm not sure if it's still, if Joe may have, well, maybe it still is a micro convex. I'm not sure if he, when he does his sharpening, if he maintains that. It is a drop point, it says, but that's more of a clip to me, but that's again opinion. Bowler K329 steel with a 5860 Rockwell. It is a satin finish. It is a lovely finish on the blade. It is perfectly executed. The handle material is G10. One of the things I don't like about G10 in general is a lot of times it feels really hard, but the way this one is done, I'm not getting that hard feel. And you know how like the reinforced nylon sheath, glass reinforced nylon stuff, that crap, I hate that stuff. It's great. It's a great material. It's nice and it'll get the job done. But it's so super hard it feels like plastic. A lot of G10 feels that way depending on how it's done. And I know there's other knives that Joe sent that has that feel, but even though it feels that way to me, it's really high quality no matter what. This one, however, is high quality, but it feels amazing. It's really done well. Not only is it done well, but the grip itself, bravo. This guy was Calvin Richardson. Calvin, man, dude, the shape of the grip is perfect. I am a big grip guy. I'm very, very, my grips mean something. When I design a grip, I like the grip to work and I like the grip to feel right. And it has to work with the hand. It has to follow the mechanics of a hand. This one is all of that. I even like this little put right here because when I put my thumb right there, it absolutely fits. If I'm doing like a side grip from the handle, that little notch right there pushes with the finger. I have absolute control of the blade. I really like that. Let's see. Okay. We just need to take it outside. All right, so getting a good look out here in the sun, you can really see this thing. Now, I'm not going to brown nose, and I'm not going to lie because I'm getting a chance to review this for free. It was sent to me. I'm not going to lie and tell you, oh, wow, well, now that it's out in the sun, I really like the look of it. Okay, I still don't like the look, but this thing was executed perfectly. This is perfectly executed. What a damn fine job Work Tough Gear does. All right, let's get going. I got a table full of goodies. Let's work this bad boy right here. Woo! It dives in really, really nice. So I just, the overall comfort with this thing is incredible to me. You can see Joe did a bunch of batoning because there is dents and dings all over this swedge. That means he was hitting it pretty hard, and it's still a knife in my hand, so it must have been doing good. Now, I want to test the edge, but remember, it's not fair. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if Joe put an edge on it or not, but that is razor sharp. That is razor sharp. I like, damn, that satin finish in the sun. I mean, that is flawless. Without flaw, it is. That is beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so let's check this out here. We'll take this threading. We'll make a nice cut. What? I barely touched the threading. All right, so now we're going to wind it up, make it a little bit more dense, a little bit harder to cut, let's see. And that was, you hear that pop? That means it was wound really nice and tight. That was really nice and tight. All right, make sure I'm still in here. Let's try a push cut without any saw action on a used edge. Made in Taiwan. Oh, it's got to be bad. Yeah, whatever. Just freaking awesome. Let's take a little bit of this this packaging plastic. Oh man, this knife, wow, that is so nice. This knife is so comfortable in the hand. I can say it all day long, but it's one of those things where you really need to just feel for yourself. It is absolutely comfortable in the hand. It gets around nice for a knife with only a 5.5 inch or 5 inch blade, whatever it was, 5.5 inch, I think it is. Golly, it gets around with ease. The reverse flip is way easier than the front flip, but the fact that you can get it around means he did a really good job connecting with the mean in this knife. He did a really, really good job. All right, so let's take some of this hose here. Garden hose. Wow, just a beautiful, beautiful cutting tool. Look at that, man. Just absolutely perfect. Let's wind this thing up, make it nice and thick, nice and tight. Try another push cut. No problem. Let's double up that material there. And let's wind it up again as much as we can because it's getting shorter. And let's try again. That is a mess load of plastic and whatever material that is. Whatever, I don't even know. But whatever it is, it was no match for the Steadfast. No match. So one thing I want to do is I want to be able to utilize the let's see, I got spiders in there. Yeah, there's a spider in there. I want to utilize the cut in right here. So what I want to do is use my finger. Let's see how thin I'm getting this ball cut. I want to use my finger, and I lost it inside the ball, to control the angle. And how I'm doing that is just pulling with my finger, and in each direction I'm pulling and pushing so you can actually see the dent in my finger. I'm using my finger to control the knife, the speed that the knife is going in, the direction that the knife is going in. I'm able to lock in right here. And that's why I say, even though I don't like this, aesthetically, it is designed perfectly. That is a really, really well designed. Right through the rubber, right through the leather, right through the, there's like a threading in there, all kinds of materials, just perfect. Now I'm going to go the other direction using my thumb to control the knife. Whatever little thumb I have. And I'm absolutely getting positive reinforcement, positive traction with that thumb. You can use this for anything in a camp. I mean, all the way down to fire making, shelter building, food prep, skinning. It's going to do it all. It's a one-all, do-all type knife. I think it's really, really well done. Really, I've said it 100 times already. And eventually, at some point, people are going to have to start believing me. It's really, really well done. All right, I'll make sure I'm in there. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Really, really nice. So, definitely your feathering. I mean, these pulls are beautiful. Let's do some pushes. And I'm going to use, again, my thumb on the top. And they're getting sweet, tight curls. Sweet, tight curls. Those are fire-making curls right there. Speaking of fire-making, you do have 90 here, so you can strike a ferro rod. That is wonderful. I love looking at these liners. I think that is awesome. Awesome. All right, let's see if we can't punch down some of this hardened Arizona wood. Oh, we got a nice knot to go through right here. I tell you guys all the time, I really need to screw this down. Hasn't happened yet. Oh, there we go. Straight through it. Straight through it. That was really, really nice. Got the dog down there. She's like, why am I getting rained on with big pieces of wood? Really, really nice. The edge shows no sign of wear. All right, so let's take this. This is a plastic hose. Just easy. Just easy. Look at this. Delicate work. I'm going to put my thumb in the notch and control the end of this cut. Get it all the way around and take it off at the end. Come on, man. Come on, man. So, what do you have here? You have a knife that absolutely works. This absolutely works. You can EDC this thing. Really, really, really well done. I'm guessing this is Calvin Richardson's logo. I think it looks great. Being a designer, I love other people's designs, seeing what's to see. I think that's fantastic. But what's really fantastic is the feel and operation of this knife. If you're like me and you don't like this thing, for me, looking at it, I don't get anything. But when it's in my hand, especially like this, I don't see that. All I see is the fact that I'm using a great freaking knife. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is a sweet blade. So, Joe, thanks for sending it. This was definitely fun to play with. Vic Lynn, great job making this thing. Calvin, great job designing this thing. This is a really sweet knife. The Steadfast is a winner. I'm going to put a link down below to the Steadfast page so you can check one out for yourself. And that's it for this one. I am Donnie all day. Until next knife.